there's no doubt, no question in the voters' mind that you were the best player in this series and you were the main reason that they won this series. Well, he answered that last night. He answered the bell in this series. And so for me, there's no doubt in my mind. Now, Skip, he has 2 more titles than Kevin Durant. He has 2 MVPs to Kevin Durant's 1. He's been to 6 NBA Finals to Kevin Durant's 4 because he lost in OKC. So he's 2-2. Steph is 4-2. I don't know how in anybody's rankings they can have Kevin Durant ahead of Steph Curry.
Are you counting 2019 for Kevin?
Well, I mean, if he had won, would he have gotten a ring?
I know, but he barely played. He played like 2 minutes and tore his Achilles.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of guys.
I didn't know if you're counting that.
Yeah, I counted it. Because he'd have counted it if he'd have got that ring. Andre Iguodala barely played in these finals. He going to get a ring. That's 4 for Iggy. So with that, Skip, for me, I don't know how now. I think we're going to discuss a little later. Best point guard of all time, he and Magic. We'll discuss that. But, yes, Skip, he checked the box. This is what I wanted him to do. I wanted him to have the 4. So now, what's the knock? But he also has something on his resume, Skip, that no other player. He changed the way we play the game. They shoot these threes. They shoot all these bad threes because of the little yellow kid, light-skinned kid from the Bay. 30. That's what his brother called him, 30. A lot of NBA players, man, 30 for real. 30 like that. Okay, 30 is like that. He changed the game, Skip. He changed the way we play the game. He has 4 titles, 2 regular season MVPs, a final MVP, and 2 scoring titles. I don't know. 8 first-team All-NBA, not first team, but he's been an All-NBA player 8 times. Skip, I don't know how. I don't know how you keep him out. And I understand, Skip, when you're dealing with the top 10, obviously, Skip, when you're dealing with 1 through 10, it's going to be a bigger gap between 1 through 10 and, say, 20 through 30. So when you take the top, so it's supposed to be, man, you're splitting hairs. And, you know, sometimes you say, well, you're splitting hairs. That's the way it should be when you're dealing with the top 10 in any sport. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey. They're the very small, they're the very minute. And sometimes it just comes down to personal preference. For me, Steph Curry has to be in the top 10 based on his resume. And I'm not so sure he won't continue to add to that resume. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think they opened up next year as the betting favorites to win the title.
Favorite as we speak.
Oh, my goodness. Oh. So he could even move up even higher.
So now you're driving the Steph bandwagon.
Ain't no driving over Skip out here.
The Jason Tatum bandwagon took a hard left right off the road and rolled over about 7 times.
No,
6 times.
All I did was say this is what I believed if this were to happen. It came to fruition, and I just don't know how you keep him out. But I know you're gonna do a great job of trying.
I just heard my partner across the table, Shannon Sharp, a Pro Football Hall of Famer, say, what's the knock on Steph now?
Yeah, what is it?
What's not the knock on Steph is the better word, because everything you just said for me is pure blasphemy. I am afraid we are going to get struck by lightning. At some point, this roof above us is going to open up, even though we're on the 2nd floor of a 5-story building. Somehow God's going to say, I'm going to open this roof right here, and I'm going to strike you with lightning. Not me. I'm going to spare Skip over on this side, but I'm going to strike you in that green thing that you're wearing over there.
Well, first of all, Skip, considering that we never get rain, I'm even less worried about getting struck by lightning.
All right. If you want to give Steph the all-time top 10 regular season, I'll give you regular season. I'll give you revolutionized in the regular season. So that's okay. I got it. Look, if you want to purge his record, if you want to scrub, if you want to expunge, then you should be my guest. If you want to overprotect, if you want to over-defend, then have at it. I give you that right, because you have the right on your side of the table to do whatever you want on this show. But I'm not going to do it. And I don't care what Twitter says. I don't care what anybody says. I just know what I see and did not see from little light-skinned Steph.
What did you not see the series?
There have been too many times when he got so light-skinned in the finals, I couldn't see him anymore because he turned into a ghost. He disappeared. He just went poof right before your very eyes.
I'm giving you 2016. That's the only one I'm giving you that he disappeared in. That's it.
I ask anybody out there with half a brain, half a basketball mind, to go look hard at the first 3 games he ever played in the finals in 2015 against a LeBron team that had lost Kevin Love and then lost Kyrie Irving in overtime of game 1. If you look hard at what little Steph didn't do in the first 3 games, he was pathetic from 3. He shot 32% after shooting 44% in the regular season and winning the MVP. He was the reason they fell into a 2-games-to-1 down hole to basically just LeBron by himself. 3 greatest games in a row I've ever seen LeBron play. It was spectacular. And all of a sudden, it took Iggy being inserted into the lineup in Game 4 to dig them out of the hole that Steph had dug for that team. And he came back to life after they came back to life, and I'll give you that. But Iggy deserved MVP. So that's just the start of this. Then here we go to 2016. You said, you'll give me this, but you're up 3-1. This is the all-time superstar meltdown. It's akin to the one LeBron suffered in 2011, up 2-1 against Dallas in Dallas.
Right.
But the point is that in those last 3 games, he was beyond stinking. He just completely disappeared and let his team down so badly that they all knew they had to go get Kevin Durant. So what top 10 player in his career ever came to an impasse, to a crossroads where he said, I can't do it anymore. I got to go get a better player than me, admitting publicly, I got to lead a contingent across the country on July 3rd to recruit, to beg Kevin Durant to come save us on July the 4th, which he chose finally to do, and saved Steph's legacy because Steph by himself was going to lose to LeBron twice more in a row. He was going to lose 3 in a row to LeBron.
I don't know about 2018 unless Kyrie stays in 2018. Maybe if they win 2017, Kyrie decides to stay. But that, you know, because of 2018, Skip, that's when Kyrie left and goes to Boston. So let's just say I don't know if LeBron could have held on and beat them by himself. But you said he went and solicited the help of another top player. Skip, Shaq played with Kobe. Magic played with Kareem. Bird had McHale and Parrish. All great players had. I mean, you said, okay, Kareem might be a top 3 player.
But it wasn't like Steph said, come be my sidekick. No, come be my better half here. You be the star, I'll be the co-star. I'll go along for your ride. You have used the analogy 100 times on this show. The Lamborghini pulled up and Steph said, I'm riding shotgun.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. In the first 3 championships for the Lakers, was Kobe the star or the co-star?
Well, I know, but they didn't seek each other. They didn't say, I need you. They didn't need. They both thought they didn't need the other guy.
But here's the thing, Skip. You're dealing with semantics. You're saying because
facts.
But hold on. Shaq and Kobe, I believe in your estimation, Shaq and Kobe are both top 10 players.
Now, are they?
They played together.
Yeah, I got Shaq 3rd and Kobe's down here at 7th. Go ahead.
Okay, but they played together. That's my point. But to say because Steph played, asked for the help, but here's the thing, Skip. Kevin Durant needed. It looks to me, and it's looking to a lot of people, that Kevin Durant needed them more than they needed him.
Okay, I'm going to save that argument because we're going to get to it and hit it head on in a few minutes here on the show.
They needed him.
Okay, I'm going to save that argument because we're going to get to it and hit it head on in a few minutes here on the show. Stay tuned for that. But my point is, Kevin wins back-to-back MVPs.
Deserved.
Okay, and Steph, legacy saved and legacy enhanced because he got Kevin Durant.
Right.
And then all of a sudden in 2019, fatefully, Kevin pulls up lame. He's got a calf injury, so he can't play against Toronto. And Steph should have been the best player on the floor, but he wasn't because in games 3, it'd be 3, 4, 5, and 6, the last 4 games of that series, Steph stunk again from 3, another 33% from 3 that kept Kawhi and company afloat. Kevin came back for a brief moment and tears his Achilles tendon, impossibly tragically at that point.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it comes down to Steph or bust. And in Game 6 at Oracle, in his house, I think we have it. If we could show it again, just to remind everybody, he gets a pretty good look from 3.
He did.
You
He
got
got
to
a great
make
look.
one of these. You got to make one. This is forcing a Game 7 if you make this shot back in Toronto. Show me something. Show me a signature moment if we could please see it. This is a sweet play here. All the way across. That's a Spurs classic play. And he misses it wide right. Okay? If you make that, I'm like, oh, wow, there he is. Maybe he does have a clutch gene, but I didn't see any clutch gene in 2015 or 16.
So let me get this straight. The reason why you refused to put him in the top 10 is because he missed that shot?
No, because the last go look hard at the last 4 games from 3. He was terrible by his standards. He's revolutionized the game, and all of a sudden, with the money pushed to the middle of the table against Toronto, he can't buy a 3. Really?
But Skip, I just think the thing is that what you're measuring him against is a guy like Michael Jordan. And you say because Michael Jordan has never lost in the finals. Michael has had some bad games in the finals. He just never lost. All these other players have L's on their resume in the finals, have a series or a series of games in which they've played bad. All of them. Even Tim Duncan last. Skip, Tim Duncan was not the Tim Duncan that won the previous 4. You know that.
Okay. I'm just talking about Steph Curry, and I'm going to stay right here on Steph. So we just witnessed a 6-game finals.
Yeah.
Won by Golden State, and Steph won his first MVP.
Correct.
And I'm going to give you that, but barely, because he averaged for the finals 31, 6, and 5, which sounds pretty great because the 31 sounds like, wow.
It is great.
Right?
What you mean sounds great? It is great.
The 5 assists, not so great because you would think he might be a little higher than 5, but I'll still give you 31, 6, and 5. Now, can we please, maybe I'm the only one who's capable of doing this, but I'm going to be the conscience of this show because I'm going to look hard at Game 1 at home in his house. Help me out. Am I making any of this up? Am I exaggerating? Am I fabricating? No, I'm not. Golden State is up 12 going to the 4th quarter of Game 1. Help me out. What happened in the 4th quarter? Well, nothing happened because
We got outscored 40 to 14 or something?
40 to 16.
Okay.
40 to 16. Steph did score 4 points, but he took only 1 3-point shot in the whole 4th quarter, and he missed it. Are you kidding me? And with 6:05 left, Steph Curry made a little driving shot up off the glass to give them a 3-point lead. And over the last 6:05 of a Game 1, a tone setter in his house, he was nowhere to be found. He scores 0 more points, and the Celtics go on a 20-5 run down the stretch. That same junk of a team that you saw last night went on a 20-5 run to end the game and win by 12. I'm sorry, that's on an all-time top 10 player. That's on his head.
But Skip,
you got to be better than that. Seriously?
So let me ask you a question. None of the other top 10 players have ever had a lead.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just piling it up, all the evidence.
Yeah,
okay, I got it. But let's go now to Game 3, shall we? Because Game 3, after 3 quarters, the first game at Boston, the Celtics are only up by 4. Now, we're talking about all-time top 10 that you have vaulted him into.
Yes.
So I'm saying, okay, show me something. Give me some signature here. And Steph scores 2 points in the 4th quarter. 2 points, and immediately at the start of the 4th quarter, he turns it over 3 times in a minute and 22 seconds. Really? And from 3, he is 0 for 2 in the 4th quarter. He's a -10, which went along with a -20 in the 4th quarter in Game 1. And all of a sudden, they score 11 total points in the 4th quarter and lose 23-11 in the 4th quarter. It's no good. It's not good. You got to give me a signature. You got to say, I'm the best player, because you think he's by far the best player on the floor because you got him in the all-time top 10. Listen, Golden State should have been up 3 games to none. Seriously, anybody out there, I dare you to go look hard at the 4th quarters of 1 and 3 and tell me Golden State shouldn't have figured out how to win those games.
Skip,
help me.
But what I'm saying is, just because you're a top 10 player doesn't mean you're flawless. Even the most perfect person, by anybody's estimation, it has flaws.
Okay, and I'll just go in a Game 5 in which he went 0 for 9 from 3 and dodged it. Because his teammates took him right off the hook and had his back and sent him right back to Boston for a closeout Game 6, right off 0 for 9.
And guess what? I noticed you talked a lot about Game 1. You talked about a lot of Game 3, Game 2, Game 5. I noticed you didn't mention nothing about Game 4. We'll talk about that.
Okay, in the third quarter, let's see, 4 was the one he scored.
43.
15 in the
43, 10, and 6, I think, with his
and
numbers.
in that game, Klay Thompson scored 8 of his fourth quarter points, all 8 of them before Steph even scratched in the fourth quarter.
Without Steph Curry,
Klay had
15 in the
taken
third.
over the game and given them the 3-point lead, and then here came Steph.
Without Steph's 15 in the third, we're not even talking about Klay. And Klay played well in that game. I'm not diminishing that. But you know what happened. You know this was the game-altering series, was game 4.
We have just vaulted a player into the top 10 who, to my eye, has no clutch gene. He is all-time. He's three-quarters Steph, man. He's about three-quarters of a top 10 player. I'll give you that. And he has revolutionized the game in the regular season.
In the postseason, look at all the threes everybody shoots. That's all anybody do.
And as much as he can steal the basketball, he can be a liability on defense. Do we have anybody else in the top 10 who's a liability on defense? I don't think so. I'm seeing a lot of all defensive first teams here,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay, how can we do that? How can we put him? Who would you take out? Take somebody out.
I didn't write down my top 10, but I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
I'll write it down.
Okay,
but he's coming in there.
I'm going Jordan, Magic, Shaq, Kareem, Tim Duncan, Bill Russell, Kobe. Let's see. Who's my? Oh, well, Larry Bird, then your man LeBron, and Wilt. Do you want to put him in over Wilt?
Well, you got to take LeBron out. I mean, he's already down there at 9, so you got to take him out. It should be easy.
Wait, did Shannon? Les Shannon?
No, that's your list. That's your list.
Oh.
The mere fact that you got LeBron down there at 9, everybody has LeBron at least as a top 4 player except you.
I don't care what everybody has.
But you know what it is. You know what it is. 4
I think
MVPs, 4 Finals
just
MVPs.
suggested that maybe Steph has replaced LeBron.
Stop it.
Well,
LeBron is a Mount Rushmore player.
Oh, okay.
I said top 10. I didn't say Mount Rushmore.
You're going to take Wilt off? Who are you going to take off? Larry Bird, your favorite player growing up? I don't know. He's light-skinned, right? You could replace one light-skinned with another.
No, he's going in the top 10.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to do. He's going to do that. And you can't keep him out.
I'm going to do my darndest.
I know. Yeah. That's a shame, Skip. That's embarrassing. You ought to be ashamed.